Hello guys, welcome again to the library. We are here to discuss another topic. Yes, we are still under the group of regulatory science, but we will continue with command science today. Yes, last week we were doing the control science, but now we're moving over to command science. Let's just dive straight to the command science. What are command signs? So command signs are there to give instructions. There are two types of command signs. Signs that specify an action that must be taken by all drivers, and that specify which class of road user must use a specified section of the roadway that others may not. Remember that it directs or commands you to do a certain action. So it tells you you must do this. So we can name them as must signs. If you see the command signs, you know that there's an action that you must take or you must do. Those are command signs. So according to the paragraph here, it says the class of road user is shown on the sign by means of a symbol. All the actions that drivers must take are shown in the first row below. So that's what we'll be looking at today. As you see there, the actions that all drivers must take. This is the first row here, as you see on the screen there. So let's get to it. So the first sign there, it tells you you must do what? You must switch on your headlights now. So you don't have any other option. It's something you must do now. You must. That's a command. So every time when you're writing your test, you see this sign, you know that it's an action you must. Remember, when you see on your question there, you must do this. You must take this action. You must switch on the lights. Normally, we see them when you're approaching a tunnel or normally low visible area. Maybe there's fog. Normally, there's usually a fog in that area, or there's mist. So you normally see that sign. Now it's time to switch on your lights. It's a must. You don't have any other option. If you fail to adhere to that command, you can even get a fine. Then the second one, it's a T, because you must notice here the command signs they have a blue background and they're in a circle. It's normally like a disc shape sign, and there's a blue background, and the letters or the symbols are written in white, and then the borders, they normally are black, and so on. Yes, those are the permanent signs. But the temporary signs, they have a yellow background, and the symbols and the numbers are written in black, and there's a black border. So remember that when you see a yellow background, you know that this is a temporary sign. So this sign here, it mentions that you must pay a toll on this road or take another route. So it makes you aware. If you are traveling on this road, you will be required. You must pay. There's no other option. So it's for you to decide. Either I'll take maybe another route, or if I enter this road, I know that I'm expected, or I'm obligated to pay a toll route fee. So normally we call them toll gates. Yeah, it mentions that there's a toll gate ahead, and you will pay, like it or not. If you don't have money, then yeah, you'll be faced with a somewhat of a situation there. Excuse me. Then the second sign here, it mentions that you must travel at this speed or faster. So this means that this sign tells you that this is a minimum speed requirement on that route. Normally we find these signs on highways, even freeways. So there's a minimum speed to travel in or by. So 50 kilometers per hour is the minimum speed. So you can't travel below 50 kilometers. It's either 50 kilometers or until the maximum speed required on that route or on that road you are traveling in. So remember, you must only travel 50 kilometers per hour or more in that road. They must. There's no other option. Okay, the following one, the command sign here, what does it tell us? Because you will come across this sign in your test. This sign, it says you must pass to the site indicated by the angled road. Again, no other option. You must travel on the direction of the sign. It's a command. You are obligated to do so. You are obligated to adhere to that road sign there. Okay, the other one, similar to this one, is an arrow, but positioned to the right. It says you must proceed only in the direction of the arrow. Only. You must only do this. Remember, when you see your question there, remember, because normally the questions are in multiple choice formation, so you must remember, go for the answer or the option that makes sense, or it has a terminology of the traffic department or the traffic or the K53 manual. So these are the terms. You must pass to the indicated by the angled arrow to that side only. Must. Remember that term, must. It should be the correct answer if you see that one. You must only do this. Okay, the other one, the following one, it's a temporary sign, but a command sign as well. It also mentions that you must turn only the direction of the arrow at the next junction. So it says either in the road junction, the next junction ahead, you can only turn to the right. There's no other option to turn to the left. You only turn right. And here as well, the following one, the sign here, you must obey traffic circle rules at the roundabout. You must obey traffic circle rules at the roundabout. We talked about that last time, and we're still gonna discuss it much further in the next coming lessons. Because we'll try to include the questions. We'll do the questions. I'll try to do the questions with you, and make sure that we understand them, and then we make sure that we get the right answers so that we'll be well prepared for our learner's lessons test, our up and coming learner's lessons test. I know that you want to get done with this quickly, but it is very important to take the time, learn to understand, because the knowledge you are acquiring here, you will need in your driving career. It's not only for the learners, but it's for your lifetime. And it's not for just to impress or to please the traffic officers, the officers who are looking or overseeing us in the road, but it's for your safety. It's for your safety. It's for the safety of other road users, and so on. Remember that. That's why we need to know this, get to know them thoroughly, and then apply them. Okay, you remember that the command signs are divided into two. First, we were just looking at it now. Actions that all drivers must take. And then the second section is that the class of road users indicated must use this part of roadway only, and other road users may not. So we're doing the last section, the second one. And under the group of command signs. Remember that. Okay, what does this sign tell us? You see it has a blue background and the symbol there, or the picture, it's white. So taxis must use this part of the roadway, must only them. It's dedicated to taxis, meter taxis, as you see there. It's not a minibus, but it's a meter taxi. These are meter taxis. It's only for them to use. No other road users may use that roadway. Remember that. Only them must use that. Only taxis, when you see this sign here. It's a sign of taxis. As you see there, there's a small cap there on top. That's the sign of taxi. Normally they use a small vehicles like these private motorcars. They're using motorcars and the meter taxis. It's not a minibus. We know that in South Africa we also call the minibus, we call them taxis. Yeah, they do the same job almost. Okay, the following a sign. What does it say? What does it mean? What's the commandment here? That buses and minibuses must use only this part of the roadway. So everywhere we travel, we see this sign. Normally, these are bus stops or taxi stops dedicated for buses and minibuses, which we call taxis here in South Africa. They alone must use this part of the road. Remember, they must, and only this type of vehicle class may use this road. Okay, then the following one, it's a symbol. So you see the 10 tons. Remember, normally the command signs, they only speak about minimum lead weight, minimum height, minimum speed. We don't see maximum speed. They don't fall under the command signs. Only they fall under the control signs. They were the signs we were discussing the previous episode. So now you see 10 tons. What does it say to us? Vehicle exceeding the JVM shown must use only this part of the roadway. No other road users may. So vehicles exceeding, so that's the minimum, exceeding this GVM shown here on the side. They must only use this part of the roadway. Then the next one also is dedicated to goods vehicles. Goods vehicles exceeding GVM shown must use only this part of the roadway. You see, no vehicles below that GVM there may use this part of the road. So when you see this sign, you know it's a command. So now I'm not supposed to drive here if I'm driving a vehicle below the indicated ton there or GVM. Again, another one here. So this sign, we normally see them in towns or in business areas and so on and so forth. So it mentions that goods vehicles. So when you see this sign, it mentions this, it's more like a truck or a lorry, but a smaller lorry. It mentions that only goods vehicles must use only this part of the roadway. It's dedicated to them only for goods vehicles. Remember, only, and they must only use this part of the road. Okay, the following a sign over here. It mentions that pedestrian must only use this part of the roadway. No other road user may. You see? No other road user may use this part of the road. Only pedestrians. as you see there. And as well as this sign here, you normally see them in urban areas. Cyclists left and pedestrians on the right must use only this part of the road. No other road users may. So that means that no vehicles must use that part of the road. You see? So these are command signs, guys. They only direct us as we look on top there. What's their function and use? We know there are two types. Excuse me. There are two types. Command signs, signs that specify an action that must be taken by all drivers, and signs that specify which class of road user must use a specified section of the roadway that others may not. So that's a function or the use of command signs. You must remember that always. Okay, guys, thank you. This is our section. Next time we'll go to the whole prohibition signs. We'll just look at that and see what we can learn from that, so that we'll be much better prepared for upcoming learner's license test. Please, guys, subscribe to this channel so that we can grow, and that will help us to hold live sessions so that we can do this together live. If our numbers of subscribers can go up, that will allow us to do that. Please don't forget that, and also share this content to your family members, friends, anyone you know that needs this content, so that they can be better prepared as well. So thank you so much. Have a good one. See you in the next episode.